All right, Ian, I know you have it briefly written, but you might as well take it away, please.
Yeah, Justin, that's putting it generously. So this was the beginning steps for the playoffs for the Cowboys. If you walked around the locker room like I did, they were all talking about this is a playoff game. And they started brightly, 7-0 on their first drive, and then Jordan Lewis keep making plays with the strip. And then the Cowboys fucked around. But it wasn't them who found out. It was Washington who found out. After they took the lead 10-7, the Cowboys poured it on and did look like the team that said that this was a playoff game. And they dominated just about in all three phases. The only thing that was iffy was special teams with Brandon Aubrey missing 2 kicks, but he got right at the end of the game as he finished the scoring 38-10. Dominating fashion by the Cowboys in all three phases. Special teams, like I did mention, had a blocked field goal, but the punt team got right and blocked a punt of their own. Dak flawless. CeeDee Lamb flawless, even though number 20 was woofing early on. I don't even know if he finished the game. But all that being said, the Cowboys took care of business as they promised they would do. And, I think it's on to Green Bay. Fellas, I don't know if you guys have anything to really remark on about that game other than the mentality, but I'm ready to move on.
Yeah, it was – we started a little slow. We had talked about how, previous times in Washington late season games, there can be a little bit of a hiccup there, here and there, but we closed it strong enough. It felt like a good way to prepare ourselves for the playoffs. I don't want to be that guy. The missed field goal got me nervous a little bit. It reminded me of I don't need a Brett Maher situation in the playoffs, but look, he made the 50-yarder right after that. But other than that, I really can't. I can't think of anything else to add to it.
I guess credit to them for not doing typical in Washington stupid things after the blocked field goal, because
Yep, good
you
point.
would have thought Washington would have went up made it tied 7-7 or 10-7 or something like that.
They went up 10-7.
They went 7-7, and then they got the ball back off a pick, which really, I think, started the momentum of bad things happen in Washington. This is a house of horrors, blah, blah, blah. But they stopped after that field goal that they made.
After those 2 sequences of drives going the just absolute mayhem, credit to them for actually responding and blowing out. And, I know people don't want to give that team credit or the coach credit, but that should tell you enough that maybe they mean business this year.
Well, and we could end it. We could stop talking about Washington right after this, but they did a bunch of trick plays, reverses to begin the game too, and so credits to Eric Bieniemy on getting them down the field for those possessions. But yeah, no, great way to turn it around after it seemed like old Dallas Cowboys hijinks again. But yeah.
So let me ask you guys want to look at Packers first or the matchup as a whole, or should we look at the Cowboys going into this week? Where do you guys want to start?
Dealer's choice, really.
I'll let you choose. I'll let you choose.
All right. Well, in that case, let me just say this. We just talk about the turnovers and how Cowboys were messing around in Washington. And that's kind of been the Cowboys' MO, actually, these last 4 weeks, which is a little bit troublesome. But I will say this. The team that we are about to face in Green Bay might even be worse at making mistakes. Now, let's go ahead and look at Jordan Love. And I know people will say, man, he doesn't have any interceptions, maybe like one interception of these last 7 games. I believe they're 5-7. So he's been playing good in the passing game, but he makes mistakes. He misses the ball or misses passes that are open. Recently, he'll fumble. He'll turn the ball over. He's pretty loose with the ball and carrying it and whatnot. But in the Chicago game, he let the clock run out as they were trying to get a last-minute field goal before the half. So this team that we're facing, I know we're mistake-prone, but so is Green Bay. And now they have a lot of positives. Green Bay do. Jordan Love, I'm sure you guys have heard it all. And he is a gunslinger. I don't know. How do you guys feel about Jordan Love as a whole? Do you think my summary of him was pretty accurate, or am I not giving him enough credit for what he's done
I
these
mean,
last 7
we
weeks?
talked enough about him over the year. I know, like we were kind of first on the scene those first couple of weeks. No, I mean that's a little hyperbolic by me to say that, but I think we sung his praises at the beginning of the year and then petered off and then got back in towards the end of the season. But I mean, at the end of the day, um, that dude's still young and that man still hadn't been in a playoff game, and it's going to be a playoff road game. I mean, and I don't think Dallas's record at home should be taken lightly. I mean, the fact that this stretches over multiple seasons and not just this season. The fact that they have had all the success at home and this point differential and this defense, that's where they get their sacks. That's where they get these turnovers. So as much as good as Jordan Love has been these past couple weeks, that's still a lot to deal with for your first playoff game, especially knowing the stakes and knowing how things get amplified, and maybe people could poo-poo that, oh, just because it's playoffs, it doesn't mean anything. That doesn't change anything. I think nerves make happen, and that having all that thrown at you at one time, having to keep pace with the Cowboys offense, having to deal with the Cowboys pass rush, having to protect the ball against a team that turns the ball over a lot at home. That's a lot to deal with for your first playoff start, in my opinion.
Yeah. And so, of course, before the podcast, we do a little prep, rewatching some of what Green Bay's done this year. And like you said, he's a gunslinger, throwing it deep. But I noticed that when he's under pressure, when there's a blitz or a man in his face, he definitely rushes it out. Like Justin pointed out, he's a young player. So I think creating chaos, Dan Quinn coming in, I think that would, you know, stop some of what he does well. What I noticed as well is Green Bay loves to play action. And so I think taking that
Yeah.
extra second or two, uh, to fake the run can also give our guys an extra second to get to him and to get in his face. So I think that can create some issues. My main worry isn't real. I'll also give Jordan Love his credit, but I think my worry is more Aaron Jones. I just don't need to be run over this game.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think containing for the Cowboys defensive line is going to be very important because it feels like a lot of big plays for Jordan Love come from outside the pocket. Uh, and I know there's been a lot of talk about this receiving core at Green Bay and how young and fast and quick they are. But honestly, the only person that I really fear, I guess, is Christian Watson, whether that be from last season or just what I've seen him do and how big he is.
Well,
That's the
I
only reason
mean,
I'm worried
let's
about
be
him.
honest,
But
bro. Is Christian Watson going to play? Like, I know he practiced today in a limited fashion, but that man stay having a hamstring problem all year, and those things don't just go away just because the calendar turns January and it's playoff time.
Yeah, last I saw is he's not likely, but that was yesterday, so they hadn't taken into account that he practiced today. And if he does play, it's definitely going to be in a limited fashion. So I know he kind of torched us last season, but I don't think he's that player from last season at this stage with his health right now with his hamstring. So I mean, uh, I get it. He's a deep threat, but I don't know. I feel like we almost don't have to worry too much about him, but I also hope I'm not getting too much ahead of myself.
yeah, and I only brought him up just because I think he's better than the rest of the receiving core. He did hurt his hamstring 6 weeks ago in Kansas City, so I don't know how long it takes for you to get healthy from a hamstring.
A
But
long, long time. I don't think he's played since that at all.
I think you're right. But
So
nevertheless, the really reason
I
I brought him, I was just kind of, trying to get the idea of the entire offense because what I wanted to get to was Rudy's point, which was Aaron Jones and maybe this run game. Aaron Jones has had 300-yard rushing games to end the season, actually. And the only reason I'm worried about, I mean, we talked about last season, is because Green Bay was successful beating us when they stuck to the run, and Aaron Jones was a big key in that. And I think Matt LaFleur can probably draw up a pretty good game plan that involves the running game and try to exploit the Cowboys' weakness on defense. But
yeah, and I mean, I know a lot of people's house of horrors with Green Bay is old ayahuasca, but that man Aaron Jones always be having a good game. Going all the way back to where he stunned on Byron Jones on his way to the end zone way back then. Like, but to the Cowboys' credit, they stopped the run pretty well at home. I mean, the last really good rushing team didn't do jack against you at home, which was Detroit. And I mean, say what you want about Aaron Jones, still a good running back, but I think Gibbs and Montgomery at this point in their careers, I would take those two over Aaron
You're not worried
Jones.
about AJ Dillon and
He didn't even practice today.
AJ
No, I know he was hurt.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, he's not gonna play. Okay.
This team on like the triage unit, and like doesn't mean disrespect them, but like at the same time, like I don't understand. Like I get why Green Bay is seen as a team that could pose some issues, but like you have to also look at the fact that they got so many injuries on their front. It's not even funny, and they've been limping around all year. And the fact that they just snuck into the playoffs because of that.
Yeah, and like you mentioned how we played against the Lions, the way we played against the Dolphins as well was a pretty good run stopping performance. Now, no, I mean, look, Mostert got hurt in that game, but still, they didn't really beat us too much to the ground. We got kind of lucky with Tua missing some passes, and so I hope that if the Cowboys, we talked about it last week.
What's his face? Love's going to do that too. He's going to miss some passes that are open.
I definitely think that's what no. I'm glad you brought that up. I think you're right, but it feels like when the Cowboys, like I mentioned it last week, focus on the run. We shut down the run, but then that can leave some holes in the passing game. And okay, let's look back at the last time we really got killed through the air. What was that, Seattle? And I think that the Packers don't have receivers like Seattle does, so I don't see that happening to us. So. Again, don't want to overlook them, but I feel like as long as we shut down Aaron Jones, we'll be all right.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up the Seattle game because I am having visions of a similar performance by this Cowboys secondary. And I just think they'll cause problems to this Green Bay receiving corps, but I'm glad that you guys are confident in the secondary stopping them. I kind of think tackling and preventing yak is going to be very important. Like Bland is a pretty big suspect on that, but and then especially with what's his face, Gilmore, a little banged up from Washington.
I mean,
don't get me wrong, bro.
Like Jaden Reed, Wicks, Dobbs, all of them. I mean, they're all nice, but like to equate them to like the Seattle receiving corps, I don't think that's fair to Seattle's receivers at all. Because I don't think any of them, even Christian Watson, if he was healthy, I don't think any of them are even better than Tyler Lockett. And I would say Tyler Lockett is the worst out of the three of those in Seattle. So
yeah, I think I also think the way that we've seen Jordan Lewis step up in the run game, Donovan Wilson's picked up his play a bit as of late. So I think we're seeing a defense that should stop the run game. And the pass game should be extremely limited because – go ahead.
I know we keep talking about defense got to do this, defense got to do that. Well, if the offense does status quo at what it does at home, that's a lot to keep up with no matter who you are. You could be the Rams, you could be the 49ers, you could be whoever. All these potent offenses, that's a lot to keep up with for what the Cowboys offense does at home. So if they just continue to handle their business and what they typically do at home, a lot of what the defense needs to do will just fall in line just by natural causes.
No, I completely agree. And the thing, too, is that Green Bay's defense is not that good at all. And so I guess that's the only reason I didn't bring it up because it almost seemed like a given. But no, you're completely right. If our offense does what we believe what they should do to Green Bay, to a defense that's a bit inferior, then the defense, our defense, I mean, shouldn't have to worry. But I do want to see them, come out here, ball, make the run stopping plays that I believe they should, and just Ian, I get your fret, just don't get beat deep. But no, I think you're right, Justin. There's no doubt about it. If our offense does what they should, it shouldn't be close.
Yeah, I totally agree because Their Green Bay's defense is garbanzo, in my opinion. They kind of have a nice D line, I think, but as long as Dak is kept clean and that boy knows how to navigate the pocket better than I don't know just about anybody in the league right now, I think it'll be fine as long as they don't make stupid mistakes. The Cowboys, that is, like they've kind of been doing these last 4 weeks. I mean, even if they just have one or two, I still think they'll be fine. Like I said, Green Bay will give it back to them. But yeah, let's not pretend like the defense needs to, carry the loads. This is the Cowboys are an offensive team, and if they set the pace like they should do, and like how they have been doing at home, I'm not really too worried about this. And I kind of think that what do you call it? That plus 7.5 to Green Bay. I think that it's easily attainable for the Cowboys. Cowboys and the Cowboys offense altogether. Because, you have the better quarterback easily. And Green Bay, too, as a running defense, ain't that good. So maybe you can get Tony Pollard some touches for this game.
As much as we've been killing him, past 2 games have been pretty okay on the ground. So if that's an omen for things to come, maybe they finally figured something out.
Yeah, and hopefully, bringing back Zach Martin next week and this week and
finally having healthy O-line.
yeah, that could definitely bode well for us.
Well, yeah, I know Justin was saying the Green Bay team ain't ever healthy, but this Cowboys offensive line is never healthy, and that's a big part of this offensive success. But I mean, we've seen Dak deal with it all season, so maybe it's not as big a deal as some of us would make it out to be.
Yeah, And last thing on the run, I guess, I was listening to Vach Lombardi, and he was talking about, was it Vach? I think it was Vach. She was talking about, or they played a clip of some Green Bay reporter, and he was like, yeah, we're the only team who allowed 4 200-plus yard rushing games this year. So, I mean, not only is Tony stepping it up, but we're also going against a run defense that doesn't like to play. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, real quickly. So how do you guys think this game will play out? Are you guys feeling ambitious enough to give that statement, or at least the keys to victory, or no?
I mean, I don't think this is a game that people should be worried about. Like, it should be a double-digit playoff win. Like, double digits mean 10 points, but like it should be a game that you control the whole way. Like, barring any foolishness as far as turnovers, as long as you protect the ball, you're good enough offensively that it's hard to keep pace with somebody that puts up points like you do at home, no matter who the opponent is.
I think like worst case scenario, it starts slow, similar to the Washington game. Let's say like Green Bay gets the ball first, they run it, they get that rhythm going, and then you got to play a little bit of catch up. But I think like, let's say we take the lead early and they got to pass their way into the game, they have no chance. I see us around the third quarter really, really pulling away. And by the middle of the fourth, it's not a game.
All right, I got to bone the pick. I told you this was opening Pandora's box, Ian and Rudy, when NFLs decided to put games on streaming platforms exclusively. And they done did it again by making it a playoff game, an exclusive on Peacock. As if I already have Peacock, but as if I'm going to sign up to watch a playoff game just solely to get Peacock just for one game out of my life, even if it's not even my team. So that's what type of logic is that from the NFL?
Well, Justin, let me go ahead and draw you in by saying, Justin, what if it's Kansas City versus Miami Dolphins? I mean, surely that's juicy enough for you to throw away $5. Oh, okay.
No.
All right. Well, in that case, Justin, since you are the honorable person on this podcast, I would like to bring Rudy Guerra on trial because I believe this man has hyped up this streaming platform. I mean, not Peacock per se, but that man has been saying this is the future when it comes to Amazon and their business. So, Justin, I need you to rule on this Rudy Guerra. Rudy, what do you have to say in your defense when it comes to this? I don't even know. Abomination.
Look, there's nothing we can do about it. That I never said I want. No, hold on. I see your faces. I never said
guilty. I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Where is this trial? North Korea? Look, there's no way that the NFL is turning down money when you have like Amazon Prime paying extra money for games. Yes, it's on a streaming service. I know y'all hate it, but it's about the green and the NFL and green and greed. That's what they're known for. And so, I mean, look, I have Peacock. I don't like that. Like, I got my dad asking me how to watch this game. Look, I'll help him, but I can't be doing this all
No,
the
bro,
time.
because all these streaming platforms, they can't do live sports, dude. Like, I
Nope.
hate that I have to log in every single time I pull it up. I hate that it glitches every single time that something happens. They can't handle the traffic. What happened to the good old days with cable, where all you gotta do is turn on the TV and you got the game? And
It's
especially
funny
a
you say
playoff game.
cable because, like, when sports started moving to channels like TNT and the regular folk was mad. The folk with satellite was like, I
Well,
have channels 1 through 11. I don't have
Rudy,
45.
they at least
or what have
they
you."
put the big games on national TV all the time, even back then. So
Look, I'm not
you weren't
gonna.
missing out on playoff games because of cable extensions.
I don't think every NBA playoff game is in the
Well,
in
we
the
ain't talking
local
about no
channels.
we
ain't
ain't
not
talking
talking
about no
about no
NBA,
Well,
bro.
I'm talking about the progression into leagues trying to make as much money as they can. And look, that's what this Peacock thing is. It's another way that NBC is like, hey, we're throwing money at this to try to get some money back in subscriptions. And look, I'm not the biggest fan of it. Like I said, I got to help the old folks get on and figure it out. But it is what it is. That's what.
Yeah,
it
that's
is.
why he hates it, because he got to interact with old folks. But nevertheless, bro, you ain't gonna be missing nothing because it's Miami versus KC, and just like the matchup before it, we might as well just gloss over the Cleveland Browns versus Houston Texans matchup as well, unless there's a CJ Stroud apologist amongst y'all.
I thought we all like CJ on this panel.
So he's gonna win.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, nevertheless, let's check out Sunday's matchup at noon. Oh, it's the Bills versus the Steelers. Oof. NFL unserious with these first playoff games to go on. I say Bills comfortably. Who cares?
Yeah. I'm on the Bills boat.
Fortunately, the Cowboys avoided the Stafford narrative because, good Lord, I can't stand it when they pull out the dude returning to his hometown clips and whatnot. So thank God we avoided that.
Well, okay. Is that more annoying than guy playing his former team? Because that's exactly what Goff versus Stafford is. That's what.
Because my team is out of it. Yes, I definitely would take that. I will take the Stafford going back to the Detroit matchup, bro. I'll take that.
I get a little. I get what you're saying, where you don't want to hear Stafford coming back to his hometown, but I also am sick and tired of hearing all the Green Bay versus Dallas a curse when the quarterback who did that's not even here. There's always going to be a poor narrative when it comes to teams playing Dallas in the playoffs. That I get what you're saying, but I don't know. As annoying, mighty annoying. And then I guess like when you look at we talked about what we think is going to happen in that Packers game, Cowboys game. We can talk about Rams, Lions. We just mentioned that it's the quarterbacks visiting their old team. Y'all got any main predictions? Anything y'all feel is talk noteworthy right now about that?
All I'm gonna say is I don't want to hear no talk about how good the Rams are if the Lions don't smack them around come Sunday night, because I've heard way too much talk about how scary nobody wants to play this Rams team. When okay, cool, like they kind of got their season a little bit together towards the end of the season, but like the team still has issues. So y'all don't get to like play both sides of the coin by being like, oh man, what a tough team to play, and then they were the sixth seed, or they were like 9-7 or 10-7 or whatever. If they do get like blown out by Detroit or something.
That's the media's MO. I mean, come on now. We all know how this how this works. But I really hope you're right, Justin. I really hope this Detroit team. I guess you did say that, but I hope this Detroit team blows them out. And I hope Chris and old Italian boy are just kind of twiddling their thumbs in the fourth quarter as the Lions are putting up a 40 stake on them.
Yeah. Don't need any more McVay or Ram hype around here. I'm done with it.
Yeah, please no. Quit pushing this LA team, bro. Nobody cares about them and they nasty ass uniforms. So I guess that takes us. Yeah, it takes us to Monday. Takes us to Monday, which, good lord, haven't we seen this matchup like 3 times in a row already? I know there's different quarterbacks playing in this game, but I feel bad for my boys Troy and Joe having to call this game.
And it's going to be like a torrential downpour too. So
yeah,
even more reason
that could benefit Philly, but I still think Jesus Christ. I was going to say Tampa Bay, even though he's not there, but then I said Bray. All right, but Baker Mayfield, I do think still puts a nail in the coffin to what's been a miserable tail end of the season for Philadelphia. Good riddance. When they were 10-1, I was disgusted by every media member saying that this team's going to the Super Bowl. I need it to end in Tampa.
I don't think Baker gonna get it done for you. Good luck on that front.
I don't know.
That dude. Speaking of not staying healthy, that dude can't stay healthy either. So
well, the opposing quarterback has a broken.
Yeah,
finger.
they both can't stay healthy. But at least the one with the finger is a little bit more consistent. Hard to say, but in these types of moments,
we shall see. All right, it's time for everyone's favorite segment, except for myself as of late. Ian, why don't you tell us how we did?
Yes. Justin, congratulations for winning Week 18. That's good enough to keep you in second place. As the standings have not changed at all, I think, since maybe Week 2 or 3. They have stayed absolutely the same because your boy led wire to wire. And I have 129 wins. Justin, second place, 125. And Wheezy, right where you've always been in last place at 119. Back to you.
Oh, God. I think, to actually win, I would need to pick the opposite of Ian every game of the playoffs.
Yeah.
We're going to go ahead and start off with Saturday, 3:30. Browns traveling to Houston to take on the Texans, where the spread is currently Texans plus 2.5. Who do y'all got?
Give me the Browns.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, me too.
All right. Going for the upset. Give me Houston. God darn. All right. Dolphins, Chiefs in Kansas City. It is Dolphins plus 4.5. Who you got?
KC.
You said Dolphins plus 4.5?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, give me KC.
Wouldn't you know it? It's another upset. The Miami Dolphins are going to travel to Kansas City and lose by 3 points, but it'll be enough for the week.
They're going to keep it that close in the snow and negative the temperatures?
They're going to find a way to.
Nah, all right, but...
moving on, we've got the Pittsburgh Steelers traveling to Buffalo to take on the Bills, where the spread is currently Steelers plus 10.
Ugh.
Who do you got?
Surely Buffalo can't screw this up with TJ Watt out, so give me Buffalo.
Dang, I didn't know that, but still. Give me the Fighting Mike Tomlins.
Buffalo's going to go ahead and win this one by 11. Give me Buffalo. Moving on. We've got the Green Bay Packers traveling to Dallas to take on your boys. It's currently Packers plus 7.5. Who you got?
Cowboys.
Give me the Cowboys.
This might screw me mathematically, but I also have to take the Cowboys. Sunday Night Football. We've got the LA Rams traveling to Detroit to take on the Lions, where it's Rams plus 3. Who you got?
Give me the Lions. Wow. Disrespect the Detroit Pride and Dan Campbell.
Um, yeah, I guess I'll take Detroit. Not very confident.
If you're not confident, you might as well switch to LA.
Oh,
No.
I already made my pick, bro. It's on you.
Okay. God dog it. All right. Now how many games are there in the playoffs? Do I have to pick the opposite of Ian every game?
Bro, just accept your fate, bro. You're done.
Well, look, I'm gonna make it as close as I can. All right,
I think you're there.
there's like
6
4
games
games
this
next
week.
week, and then there's 2.
4 next. 10, 12, 13 games. I'm down by how many?
Not
10.
enough.
Okay, so we can agree on a few games. Give me the
There you go.
lines.
See? Yeah.
I don't think
Okay.
you should be scoreboard watching. You should just be trying to pick the winners, not.
It's too late for that. So now
So confused. I'm so confused.
It's Philly versus Tampa. In Tampa, currently Tampa +3. Who you got?
Give me Philly.
I will take. Give me the Bucks.
Oh, you son of a. Justin, I hope you have room on that Philly bandwagon. Give me the Birds. God, dog. After last segment, I just said Tampa's going to win that game. But you got to do what you got to do, folks.
Anything else?
Nah.